I don't know what happened, but I got cut off when I was doing the example about, that was the example that I was doing, and I think I got to x equals negative 2/3, which is the axis of symmetry. So I'm gonna continue. So I did the vertex, I did the axis of symmetry, then I want to do the y-intercept. We put in a 0 for x in there, so we get y equals 2. And the x-intercepts, put in a 0, 5. This times we get a quadratic equation in general form, so square rooting is not going to work easily. Instead, I'd rather do the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root of the discriminant all over 2a. So it's negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 3 over 2 times 3. If you do the discriminant, it's 16 minus 24. Since the discriminant is negative, we have imaginary solutions, so there's going to be no x-intercepts. So the graph is not going to cross the x-axis. So if you graph the function starting at negative 2/3, that's the vertex. X equal negative 2/3 is the axis of symmetry. The y-intercept is at 2 and no x-intercepts. It's got a minimum, so you can see why it's not even to the x-axis. That's why we got no x-intercepts. Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna go over an application question. Number 8, page 874. We have s equals negative 16t squared plus 32t plus 48. That's the height reached by a ball when it's thrown straight up. If you read the question, it says the first question is find the maximum height reached by the ball So this is the height, and t obviously is the time. So we're looking for maximum. We have a quadratic function. You can see why it's a maximum, because a is negative 16, so we're gonna have a maximum. They want the point where we have a maximum, and since it's in quadratic in general form, we cannot get the vertex from the equation. We have to use the formula. H equal t, in this case it's negative b over 2a. So a, b, negative 32 over 2 is negative 16, negative 32 over negative 32. So that's time. So it reached the height in 1 second, the maximum height. So the ball was thrown, it reached the height, the maximum height, and then it's gonna go down. Okay, so what is that maximum height? All we have to do now to get s, the maximum s, is to plug h in. So s equals f of 1, which would be negative 16 times 1 squared plus 32 times 1 plus 48. Negative 16 plus 32, 16 plus that is 64 feet. So the maximum height reached by the ball is 64 feet. And then it says the time it takes, find the time it takes. So we want t for the ball to hit the ground, the ground. So if they want the time, we want to know so if this is ground, we want to know the height from the ground. Once it hits the ground, the height is 0. So we're going to put a 0. So it's like finding the x-intercepts. We put 0 for y. We can factor this by pulling the negative 16 out. And then minus 16 times 3 is 48. Factor that, minus 3, t plus 1. So of course negative 16 can never be 0. T minus 3 equals 0 if t equals 3 seconds. So it will hit the ground in 3 seconds or negative 1 second, which doesn't make sense. And that is the end of 10.4, so I'm gonna have to put